And we're live.
The Paranormal Spirits, the place we come to get our booze on. We talk about the booze, the things that go bump in the night. And I get to do that with all my booze. I'm Mike Black. To my left is my beautiful wife, Alyssa.
Hello.
Directly across from me, my best friend, confidant, trailblazing buddy.
Trailblazer.
Trailblazer.
John Burkett.
Trendsetter. Trailblazer. Rogue. Going rogue.
Going rogue. And tonight we're bringing you a story all the way from Wales. And this has been called the Amityville of the UK. And so it's a nice spooky story. But before we do that, let's talk about all the places that you can come to find us on the web. And we have our website at paranormal-spirits.com. We have a Facebook group. That's Booze with Benefits. We have a YouTube channel, 3B Paranormal Spirits. We have Instagram. We have Twitter or X, and we have TikTok. And those are all at paranormal_ dash spelled out _ spirits. And if you go to our main website at paranormal-spirits.com, you can get to Boozy's Boutique, which is that's kind of our swag store where we get all the cool Boozy's koozies and cups and mugs and racerback tees. Can be worn by men, by the way. John and I proved that.
No panties though yet.
No, we don't have any panties. No koozie covers yet. And but we do have everything else there. Water bottles, the works. And this show is about spirits, and we start off every night we record with spirits. And tonight shall be no different than any other night that we start off. So tonight we are drinking a
Pants.
Blanco tequila named Pants. John, tell us about
This
Pants.
is a celebrity tequila. This is Matthew McConaughey's tequila. Tequila Pantelones, which it says Tequila Pantelones Blanco Organico, which means white organic tequila pants. In Spanish. I didn't even know he had this. He had some kind of job with Russell's Distillery because he has his own line of wild turkey. Long Branch is the.
Oh, that his?
Yeah, Wild Turkey Long Branch is his. So, I don't know. It's got a cool, I would not try to carry it by this.
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't trust it.
That cork's in there tight as hell, though. It was really hard to pull, yeah. This is 100% agave. There's your gnome number. And see, I don't know.
Okay, so this smells really good to me.
Oh, his wife is involved in this, too. Camilla Alves McConaughey.
I'll say, what's her name?
Camilla.
Yes. It does smell good. It smells
She's
very agave.
She signed the back as well.
Oh, did she?
That's who that. So on their website, there's a nice little video on the splash screen, of the two of them riding motorcycles through agave fields, no helmets and no pants.
No pants?
No pants.
Well, I guess it's appropriate. Maybe they should have named it No Pantelones.
Sin Pantelones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Means without pants. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they should have named it that. But it smells delicious. It smells like agave.
I ain't smelled it. Yep, but it does smell good.
It's organic, which I was kind of excited about.
Yeah, me too. For some reason, I know that maybe it's just in my mind, but whenever we get tequilas where it's organic, they tend to taste better.
What
They
else
do.
is there? Is there the Trace Agaves is organic.
Mm-hmm.
I think
great tequila.
I think Ocho is
It is. I believe it is. Yeah.
I don't know about G4. It's the best tasting one, but I don't know if it's organic.
I don't know that it has any artificials either, because the guy that we had watched that referred us to it, he was a purist.
They say it's not.
Right.
The purest expression of agave.
Well, I'm ready to try it.
Me too.
Oh, forgot.
Come on.
Cilantro.
Cilantro.
Oh, I'm stuck.
All right.
There you
That's
go.
not bad. That's pretty good.
Wow, that's pretty smooth.
I'm down with that.
That's better than the one the
That's
Rock.
good.
That's better than the one the Rock makes.
It is. It is definitely better than the one that Rock makes.
I've never had the Blanco of the Clooney though. I don't know.
We had the Blanco of the Clooney.
Casamigos?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't.
I really don't think so. Now that you say that, I think
I know the Reposado is really good.
we've had that.
I want to say we have. I
I
don't
want
remember.
to say we have two. Cooked
Okay.
agave, notes of honey, sure to make a beehive jealous, and a comforting hit of citrus. It's as
I
smooth
taste
as
the
it
honey.
is delicious. Going down so easy, you may need to
Yeah,
take
yeah.
another sip to make
Get
sure
the
you
honey
catch
in
it.
that,
There's a little
Is that
something
really
sweet,
good?
but it could just be, because agave's got a sweet.
right? But
It
that's-
tastes good. It tastes like it should,
That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
That is very good.
Good
I-
job, Matthew McConaughey. And
Yeah.
What's the price? I mean, I see what it is on the website, but what was it in real life? Price of this?
45.
That's what it is on the website too. They're sold out on the website.
Are they?
wow,
Yeah.
They
it was
also
40.
have a
Interesting.
repo and an añejo.
I saw that.
I'd be willing to try that. I bet the Repo's really good on that.
I went with the Blanco because we had tended to be leaning towards the Blancos with some of these new ones that we tried. So I went ahead and went that one. Went that way.
It has just a teensy bit of sharpness to it,
A little bit, but
and
it's,
I'm wondering if the Reposado would tone that down, which it probably would.
Probably.
But I'd like to try the Reposado.
it's good. And it's really an affordable price.
That gets 3 all rights.
All right,
Three
all
all
right,
rights.
all right.
3 all right.
All right, all right, all right.
Well done,
Yeah, good job.
Matthew. Yeah. Did you see where he's that Costner is leaving Yellowstone, and so this part 2 of season 5, which comes out next year, it will be Costner's last, and there is a sequel series in production called 2024, starring Matthew McConaughey.
Really?
Really interesting.
Apparently, I was just reading about Dad all the Yellowstone updates, the Yellowstone universe updates.
I enjoyed Yellowstone. I haven't seen all of them yet,
We haven't seen season 5.
I'm all
and we
caught
haven't
up.
seen the 19 whatever it was.
1923.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
That's a good one.
Is it better than 18 whatever it was? 1883?
Different because you're talking about the next generation after
Right.
those people, right? So
Because that was good.
one of the main
1883?
characters is the surviving son of James Dutton. So the Harrison Ford character is the brother of the country singer. I don't know his
Tim McGraw?
Tim McGraw's character's brother. Yeah,
Yeah, that 1883, man, that was a great show, a
Apparently there's a
tearjerker.
1943 also in the works.
Oh my God,
Oh, goodness.
Taylor Sheridan's insane.
Yeah, he's still got Tulsa King and mayor of Kingstown going. So he's everywhere.
Probably still getting money off of reruns of Sons.
Well, that's was he involved in that?
Yeah, he was the cop.
He was the
He played in it,
deputy.
too.
Oh, that's right. He was.
He was the deputy in
He sure
Sons of
was.
Anarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you taking us, babe?
All the way to Wales. And I'm going to tell you a story about this dude named Bill, his wife Liz, their son Lawrence, Ben, and Rebecca. It's a whole family here, but we're going to start off with Bill and Liz. But Liz,
What's their last name?
Rich.
Rich. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Were they
Huh? Rich?
Rich?
I don't know.
Were they have a brother named Richie?
I'm not even going to play into that.
I
That's
didn't.
just, that was such a poor dad joke. I'm not even going to go there.
Actually, it couldn't be much of a dad joke because my kid was like, "What?"
Huh? Right. So Liz, I'm gonna start off with a quote from her because I think she sums it up very well. That feeling that we get, and she says, "quote The feeling of being watched actually is more frightening than seeing things. If something is watching you, you're assuming that its next move is to do something, and it's that anticipation, that dread, that
Yeah.
Because to me, that's just that's the thing that that gets you on something like that. It's just that feeling of dread, knowing it's coming. It's kind of like, you know, when you're playing Knuckles or stuff like that when you're a kid, you know, and your fix gets whacked, you know, or something. You just, you know, and you're holding your arm out there just waiting because you know it's coming, you know. And that eerie, dreadful feeling. But anyway, so this starts off in Egypt, actually. And so Bill Rich and Liz and his wife and Lawrence, Bill's 14-year-old son from a previous marriage. They got up early one morning and they were going to beat the rush of all the tourists. And they went down to the pyramid and at Cheops.
Oh, Cheops.
Mm-hmm. Went to the pyramids at Cheops.
Not
and
Giza.
No, not Giza. And so they went down there and they're going to get in before the crowd. And, you know, they wanted a more personal experience, you know. And because I know if you've ever been to something like that, it's like, you know, the crowds can be very overwhelming.
When is this?
This is late 80s. They didn't give a specific date for when they were there.
No, the story in general.
Late 80s is when it starts. So
in my mind's eye, I can put the right clothing on everybody and the right haircuts and
thanks,
vehicles.
John. Build the picture.
Was
1989.
Was Egypt safe at that time?
Yeah, this is late 80s. They end up in Egypt and they're fixing to go visit the pyramids there at Cheops and there. So they're the first one down that morning. They were waiting in line when it opened. And so they get down into into what they called the burial room or tomb, whatever.
King's Chamber.
Yeah. And they get in there, and as soon as they walk in, Liz sees like a couple of dozen lights that are just kind of swirling around, these little balls of light, and they're swirling everywhere. And she's like amazed. She turns around to the guys and she says, "Hey, do you guys see this?" And said that it was like they were frozen, that they couldn't move. And she's sitting there watching this thing, you know, and she's fascinated by it. These guys never saw it. Only she saw it. And they're like, after a while, they got this feeling like something's watching them. Something has entered the room with them, and it's in there in this cold and dank, you know, not dry place. And
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Moist?
Yeah, I didn't say it. So, but this damp place, you know. And
sultry.
Yeah, and so they're like, okay, we got to get out of here. So basically they ran out of it. And once they ran out, they get out and, you know, they start feeling normal again. And, you know, and on its own, this would be, you could say, okay, this was an optical illusion. You know, something was going on, caused them to see these lights or something. And they could dismiss it as nothing.
The mummy's curse.
Yeah. But it was, they just kind of forget about it, you know. They get back to England and their relationship is flourishing, Bill and Liz. They end up getting married and they need a home. So they find this picturesque little farmhouse out in the middle of the Welsh countryside, and it fit their budget, but they didn't realize that this was going to be the defining moment for the rest of their lives, was this place. And this farm has since been referred to as Hellfire Farm, the Witch Farm, and even the Welsh Amityville. They didn't know it at the time, but the actual name of the farm was Heol Fanog, and that's spelled Heol Fanog. And
what does that translate to?
I don't know. I'm not a whatever that would be, Welsh person.
Well, but Britain,
it's
Brythonic, because the Welsh language is the closest thing.
I have
to
no
ancient.
idea. But anyway, Heol Fanog was the place that they moved to, and they moved into the farmhouse in the summer of 1989. So right before the 90s. And Liz, by this time, is already very much with child when they first arrive on the property. And when they drove onto the property for the first time, they described an odd atmospheric change. And it said it felt like they had stepped inside this invisible dome. And it was this almost like a bubble surrounding it.
How do you spell that again?
Heol.
Heol.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the second half?
Fanog.
It means Fanog Road.
Oh, okay. Now can we go back?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. We'll just cut all that out.
I thought it might have some, it might translate into something really badass sounding,
I don't know.
but it doesn't.
Just road.
Just road.
Okay. So anyway, they get to this place. She's very much pregnant. They get onto the property, and she says it feels like this bubble around them. And they thought they took it as a positive. This is our bubble of protection that's around us, and it said there was a sense of safety that just washed all over them when they got on the farm. So they thought, oh, this is our safe haven. And so anyway, Heol Fanog is extremely isolated, perfect place for them to raise up their family that they're starting out. Bill was a painter, and this was a perfect place for him. Painter as an artist painter, not
a
house painter.
Right.
And so this is a perfect place for him. He's away from distraction of the city. He can get out here and isolate and do all his painting. And actually, he was a very successful painter, because that's how he made his living, selling his artwork, which I always admire people who can do that. But it's like, wow, how good are you? So
better than my stick figures.
Yeah, that's right. Mine too. So, and everybody kind of got along. Liz and Lawrence, their son, Bill's son, technically, they were like brother and sister almost, and would joke and cut up with each other. And it wasn't like a stepmom, stepson type relationship between these guys. So they got along very well. So in October that year, baby Ben was born. And once baby Ben was introduced into the picture there at Heol Fanog, everything kind of changed. And so it started off one night. Liz and Bill had just finished making the whoopee. The whoopee.
It's the dating game. How often do you make whoopee?
Right.
The newlywed.
Well, it is 1989.
Chuck Berry.
So they just finished making whoopee, and Bill is immediately overcome with this feeling of guilt. Oh my God, were we too loud? Did Lawrence hear us? Well, he's kind of artsy fartsy, and it wasn't like my parents were like, this. He's kind of concerned that maybe the kid heard him. So anyway, he has to go to the restroom. So he goes downstairs to the toilet. The old farmhouse now, remember, so they don't have upstairs facilities. So he goes downstairs, and he's taking a leak, and he describes it. He just kind of zoned out for a second, and he's just standing there, and all of a sudden he hears this running. And he said it was like this explosion of sound, these boots that were running through the top of the farmhouse. And he's like, what the hell, So he runs upstairs, and he thinks that it's Lawrence running around. He's like, oh my God, he did hear us, and, he's acting out now because of it or something. But he gets up there, and he opens his son's door. His son is still asleep in bed, sound asleep. He goes in there to talk to Liz and ask her, did she hear it? And she's like, no. And she's putting the baby down. She just got the baby back down into the crib and tucked him in. And so she's like, I didn't hear anything. What are you talking about? And so Bill is obviously kind of creeped out by this, but he's like, he lets it go and he goes on to sleep that night. They get up the next morning, and so there's always been this weird interconnectedness between paranormal activity and electricity, right? And that's why we have, meters to judge how much electromagnetism is there and that kind of stuff. So anyway, that morning he gets up and he's sitting at the table and they're talking about what had happened last night. And he wants to, ask Lawrence again, hey, you sure it wasn't you that got up and went running through the house last night? As they're sitting there, he's going through the mail. There's a bill that's there for the electricity. And evidently in Wales, they get their electric bill every quarter.
That sounds great.
No, not if it's all added up. I mean, think about how much,
Yeah, so evidently it's every quarter that they get their electric bills, because it says he'd been charged £750 for that quarter. Now, it's for us today in the United States, $750 for, a quarter electric bill for 3 months.
Pretty damn good, especially if
I'm
it was
happy.
the summer quarter.
Right, exactly. Here in Texas.
No doubt.
But
I mean, you're looking at almost that every month here in
for Wales,
June, July, and August.
In 1989, 90-ish, this is, it's pretty expecting. He was expecting about £100 for their electric bill for 3 months.
Wow.
A long time ago. So he's like, hey, this is crazy. And evidently this was not a single occurrence. This went on for years and years while they lived there. And it was always way, way expensive. So he brought in electricians to check the house out. Hey, I got a problem. At first he tried to fight the electric company on it. The electric company said no. Said, we've come out and we've checked the lines all the way to your house. We can guarantee you that there's not a leak. So you're not getting charged for electricity. We're just dumping in the ground. He had electricians come out and check his house, and they said, there's nothing that we can find that's, grounding out, leaking electricity.
Put a new meter on this son of a bitch.
Right.
So anyway, so $750 about that every quarter.
That's about $1,200 and
it's
thereabouts.
Yeah, it's high. So he's like, this is ridiculous. So he eventually ends up taking him to court and contesting it, and he did not win.
He didn't?
No. So while they're sitting there talking about the electric bill and going, what the hell, Liz goes upstairs with Ben, and she's upstairs. He's at the kitchen table. Lawrence has left for school. Liz and Bill hear this slamming start taking place, and it's coming down this long hallway. I'll show some pictures of the place, but it's this long farmhouse, and so the doors all the way down the hall are slamming. It's like bam, 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 coming towards her bedroom. Well, she's got the door closed, and she's standing in there, and she's going, "Oh my God, what is this?" And then she hears the door that she's standing in front of. She hears it slam, but the door didn't move. So it's like something slammed against the door, because it sounded like the door slammed. Bill hears it. He comes running upstairs. He's freaked out by this. He's like, what is going on? And so anyway, moving on. The next thing they hear, and this is a few days later, they hear these soft footsteps, not like the banging boots through the top of the house, but they hear these soft footsteps, and they're both sitting at the kitchen table. Again, this is in the morning. Lawrence has already left for school, and they're there by themselves. And they hear these footsteps, and it's almost like a shuffling. Somebody's wearing slippers or socks coming down the stairs, and it's like one step at a time, just doop, 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 coming down the stairs.
Those damn slippers.
Yeah, right? We were just talking about that. So it gets to the bottom of the stairs, which is like right around the corner from where the kitchen is. So Bill jumps up and runs around there and looks at the stairway, and there's nothing there. No sign of anything. Also accompanied with all this other stuff that's going on, they're starting to get these sulfur smells in the house.
Uh-oh.
They can smell like the sulfur, I guess has that
rotten egg.
acrid, kind of smell. So they start smelling sulfur all through the house. And they begin to think that, hey, maybe this place is cursed. Right after that, and towards the early months of 1990, Bill starts losing work, where he has all this work lined up. People are canceling their orders. They don't want his artwork anymore. He's losing his clients, so they're starting to have financial difficulties. Not only do they have a crazy ass electric bill, now he doesn't have the work to pay for the electric bill. The battery on the car is starting to drain just for no reason. It'll just go down. New battery, same thing, just drains out. And they'll go out and can't start the car. And so it gets to the point their financial situation becomes so bad, they end up selling the car. So now they're even more isolated at this place. They're already out in the boondocks.
I'm street viewing this place, and that's not a place you won't be without a car. That is some remote ass shit.
Yeah. So the family had multiple animals. They had a dog, a cat, a guinea pig, and a small handful of farm animals that they kept on the property. And all of them started showing signs of what Bill would describe as psychotic behavior.
Psychotic
Behavior. So the dog just starts becoming aggressive and just unmanageable, and then he disappears. He's gone one day. Now, what really happened to him, I don't know, but that's the story, that he's gone. The cat starts walking around in circles, just in circles over and over and over all the time. They had a goat that gave birth to 2 kids and immediately just crushes one of them.
Black Peter.
Huh?
Black Peter.
Yeah.
Like the goat and
the Vavitch.
The Vavitch.
So the pig, it picks up some kind of disease and it has to be shot. The guinea pig's found dead in the cage. I mean, everything, all the animals are either dying or going nuts or...
That's awful.
Yeah. So...
When do the people start going nuts?
It's coming. So they feel like... And on top of this, they feel like constantly, this is Liz and Bill, feel like they're being watched all the time. Well, Lawrence hasn't said anything about anything happening to him or anything like that. But this kid, it's a really sweet kid, and suddenly his behavior starts to change. Well, we all know at about 14 years old, your behavior changes as a teenage boy anyway. But he took a drastic change and became cold, distant, angry, storming through the house, barely talked to anybody, barely interacted.
He needed his ass whooped.
Well, maybe he did, but so Bill decides, maybe he's just trying to get his place, figure out his space in all of this. So Bill gives him some money to paint his room. This can be your space. Okay. You paint it what you want to. You decorate it how you want to, right?
Okay.
So he paints it red. Dark blood red. He paints his whole room one color.
Whorehouse red.
It was just, so it's really weird.
Red room of pain.
Oh, man. So Grandma comes over. Grandma's trying to talk to him because he's being a little asshole, evidently, to everyone. And so he becomes rude and aggressive with the grandmother to the point that he's trying to walk up the steps. She tries to call him back because he's trying to go upstairs. He turns around and spits in her face, telling her to go fuck herself.
I would whoop the demon out of that child.
Oh, my God. Spits in his grandmother's face, tells her to fuck off.
This is 1990. You could still do that back then. You could whoop the shit out of a kid.
In an almost described as a demonic tone, goes up to his room, locks himself in. Bill can't get him out. Bill must have not been anything like my dad, because my dad would have kicked the door in, drugged me out, beat me. I mean, he would have. Oh, yeah. But anyway, Can't do anything with him. Lawrence keeps him up all night that night. And they hear all this banging around in his room. The next day, Lawrence decides to come out of his room. He has punched and kicked holes in every wall in that room.
Oh, no.
The power of Christ compels you. Wow.
I'm telling you.
The power of this belt compels you. Wow.
That kid would have got exercise for sure. So Liz, during this time, she decides she's going to reach out for help. So she calls the Catholic priest. He comes out, blesses the house, and it calmed down for a few days.
Oh, this sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't it though? It really does. I mean, yeah. So it calms down for a few days. And so she's up in the nursery with Ben. And Ben. And she looks out into the garden, and there's this old woman out in the garden just walking around. Except she can see through her. You know, it's like a full-bodied apparition, but she can see through her and, you know, and all this. So this old lady throughout the time was also seen by Bill, Liz, Ben, and Rebecca, the daughter who isn't born yet, but she also saw her too. And so the whole family was seeing this old lady as she walked around. And Rebecca said later, quote, "I used to be in the playroom and there would always be this old woman in there, and she never spoke. She never moved. And at that age, you just think it's normal. Like anything could happen around you and you just assume that's normal. That's what people see. I don't think we told anyone about her. I think we just assumed that Mom and Dad must have seen her as well." End quote. So after some investigating into the history of the place, Liz realizes that this spirit that they're seeing is a spitting image of a woman who used to live there in the house before her death. So they bring out these spiritualists and these exorcists to the place over the next few months, trying to do something. And there's all kinds of various claims were made by the spiritualists. They said they were, one of them said they're the spirits of 7 witches that were present in the area. And it is worth noting that Brecon Beacons, the mountains there where Heol Fanog is, do have an extensive history of witchcraft in that area. Other claims say that the farm was lay on top of a series of dark ley lines that might be responsible for attracting dark energies.
I think they just brought something back from that pyramid.
That's what it sounds like.
Except the lady that looks like the lady that used to live there.
Yeah, but it could disguise itself to look. Who knows? These Egyptians.
Well, that's true.
Others claim that there were, in fact, 4 spirits residing within the farmhouse: 2 young men, an older woman, and something that appeared to hide its true identity. And this makes me think about the Smurl haunting. You remember, because there was the 3 different. There were 2 women, 1 old, 1 young, a dude that had been hung who had murdered somebody, and then the demon that was there. Remember?
Right.
And so it reminds me of Smurl. But anyway, whatever this thing was, it was attaching itself to, it seemed like it was attaching itself to Lawrence. So Bill decided, after much soul searching, that he was going to send Lawrence off to military school. Lawrence lost his shit and completely lost it. He didn't want to go to military school. He hated the idea of this. He hated his dad. He hated life. And so anyway, he sent Lawrence off to military school to get him away from this. When that happened, later on, their relationship repaired and they became buddies again. But it was after he had gone off to military school to get away from all this. So the curse now...
They beat that demon out of him.
I don't know.
They PT'd that demon.
He probably did. So the curse that's affecting everybody at Heol Fanog ends up spreading to other neighboring farms. They start having lambs and calves that are being born deformed, and and all this. And so anyway, it's moving out into the neighboring area, kind of like that movie we watched recently, the one that I did not like, Where Evil Lurks or something like that.
Oh yes, Where Evil
where
Lurks.
they called it the Rotten. The Rotten was spreading.
Yeah.
So
It makes it sound like there's something in the water or something.
man, I don't know. This
That
place.
sounds a little Lovecraftian, like the color from outer space.
Yeah,
it
it's-
spreads and starts affecting the land and the animals around.
So they have a problem with the toilet. The toilet disconnects itself from the floor and is moved. So they call
They
it
need a new wax ring. Is what they
like it's more than a wax ring, because the plumber comes out and he puts it back, and he says, this isn't the first time I've been out here with plumbing problems. And Liz says, oh really? When tell me about it. So the lady who had lived there before, they'd installed these radiators throughout the house. And
like heaters.
Yeah.
It's like old school. Yeah.
yeah, radiators. So he puts these radiators throughout the house. Plumber gets called next day, hey, the radiators have come loose. So he goes back out, came back out 3 or 4 times, and each time they had been disconnected from the wall and just sat right there. And it eventually, his helper wouldn't go back out. He said he was too freaked out by the place. He said there was some bad juju going on out that. So we know that Bill was having problems with his making any money. He's not selling any artwork. So there is a painting commissioned by one of his neighbors. He says, hey, I want you to paint this horse for me. So Bill's like, cool, I can do that. So he paints the horse. Cannot get one of the back legs right. It just doesn't look right. No matter how he paints it.
It's not easy.
Well, he can't get it, So finally, he does the best he can, and he takes it to the guide. He said, look, this is the very best I could do. The guy takes a look at it, and it said he just turned ghostly white when he showed him the painting. This guy's prize horse
Had a bum leg.
fell and broke his back leg. The field in which the horse was painted was where the guy shot him and put him down and buried the horse. Was the place that Bill had chosen to place the horse in the painting. So it was just really weird. And there's multiple sightings of ghosts at the house and multiple different times. So finally, there was something else. And just after Christmas in 90, Liz saw something that said it pushed her over the edge. And she saw something 7 foot tall, shadowy figure with a strangely shaped head. And this apparition said that made Liz's blood just run colder than anything she had seen, with a feeling of malevolence and evil. And so she decided that they had to get her family out of the house. So they go to Liz's mother's house, grandma's house, and they decide to stay there. Well, while they're there, Liz's mother finds this pendant, and it looks like an Egyptian pendant. So she says, hey, is this yours? And Liz goes, no, this isn't mine. I've never seen this before. And so they show it to Bill. Bill takes it and looks at it, and it basically knocks him out. It's like he's been tased. He touches the pendant, says it felt like it electrocuted him, falls out on the floor, and drops it. So they get a priest and a Satanist coming out to the house. No kidding. Okay.
They ride in the same car.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
Interesting ride.
Former Satanist.
Oh.
Okay.
That's now a
Former
what?
Satanist that is, I guess, a paranormal investigator or ghost hunter or whatever she is now. But she's hanging out with the priest. Okay. And before I tell you about this, you have to promise me that you're going to have your laugh and then just let it die after that, okay?
You shouldn't set that up like that.
I've got to tell you that. Because the minister's name is David Holwood.
Not Halfwood.
Yeah, Holwood.
Holwood. Okay, that wasn't as funny as I thought.
Yeah, we hadn't got to the
I thought it was
Satanist
going to
yet.
be Coxman or something.
We hadn't got to the Satanist yet.
Holwood and
The former Satanist known as Anita Dick. See, I knew that he wouldn't have been able to hold it. So that's why I'm telling him, just get it out of your system.
That's made up. That's not real.
That's maybe it's the name she chose while she was a Satanist. I don't know.
Yeah, nobody would have. If nobody with the last name Dick would have named their daughter Anita.
maybe she married into it.
What about the girls here in Texas? The I'm a hog and what's the other one?
You're a hog.
It's just Ima. There never was a Ura.
Okay, so there was
That's
an I'm a hog.
There was an
though.
Ima.
Yes,
Yes, that was
the
legit.
daughter
Who would name their daughter
Governor
Ima?
Hogg did have a daughter named Ima, which was a common name back then. There was no Ura.
Why would you name your daughter Ima if her last name was Hogg?
I don't know.
Okay. So anyway.
Why would you? Well, we talked about this last week. The doctors with the
Oh yes.
4 generations. No, I know who it is.
No. Don't
We're
do
not
it.
going to say it.
No, we're
do it.
not.
But wow,
Yeah.
4 generations.
Okay. So I wanted just to get that out and just get past it.
So Miss Dick,
Misty.
she
Holwood and Dick drove to the farm. On their way to the farm, these birds are crashing into their car.
like Alfred Hitchcock.
Like
Birds?
Alfred Hitchcock birds.
It's going to be a hard cleanup.
So they get to the farm and
They needed a dick too.
Note that it's not me.
Thank you, John. So they get there and Bill and I'm sorry, not Bill.
Holwood and Dick.
Holwood and Dick.
David and Anita are going through the house and they
Call
notice
the law
that
offices of Holwood and Dick.
they notice that there are lots of books on the occult and spiritualism.
At the house?
Yes,
Oh.
that's where they were going. Remember when the birds
Yeah.
ran into the car?
Yeah.
Okay,
This is why they call it the Amityville of the UK. It's like
It's-
Lutz and his
Man, it's
collection
got
of
everything.
witchcraft books.
So
and
he's
stuff.
got all the books there, and they're saying you need to burn them all. And you take all these books, you need to burn them, get rid of them, all these non-Christian things, and
I don't know if she'd burn that.
so they burn it all,
Oh lordy.
to include a painting that Bill had been working on that contained the image of an all-seeing eye. So shortly thereafter, Liz hears this cat growling. Okay, so it's kind of like between a snore and a purr at first, and it's underneath her bed.
Did they have
So-
a cat? Did the cat run away or die at this point?
I don't know. I don't know.
I wouldn't look.
I don't know if the cat was still there or not, but this is what she's hearing under the bed. So she takes the pillow, throws it up underneath the bed to run the cat off. There is no cat. And she keeps hearing this, so she gets up, starts looking around, and as she stands up, it gets louder and louder. And she realizes that this is not a purr or a snore. This is like this guttural, vicious, deep growl. And she realizes that it's not actually in the room. It's not under the bed. It's just outside the window. So it's standing. Now, remember, they're on the second floor. So whatever this thing is, it's right outside the window. And it's sitting there growling at her.
No, thank you. No.
So shortly thereafter, Bill starts his masterpiece that he painted, and it's called Testimony. And the testimony is this giant glowing crucifix, and the that book or that painting actually became a book about Heol Fanog that was written by the journalist Mark Chater, and it contains firsthand interviews and a lot of the people around there, people that were actually involved with the haunting. So after the burning of the books, Bill's work, and all that stuff, the farm experienced its first prolonged period of peace since the Riches moved in. Throughout 1992, they lived in relative calm, unbothered by the strange occurrences. Liz would sometimes see figures in the garden moving through, but that was it. They were just moving through. The electricity meter, however, kept on ticking away, just like it did. So whatever there hadn't gone, it was just resting.
I wonder if they ever tried an experiment, shut off the main.
They did.
And it still,
see if it still
ticked.
goes.
Oh, that I don't know. But I know they did turn the electricity completely off at times. That was one of the things they did.
Bill.
Probably.
But I would have tried it just for the heck of it. Just
to see.
We're going to shut the main off and we're going to watch that meter and see if it still goes.
So, 1993, Rebecca comes along. Now, she's the youngest. Or Liz is pregnant again with Rebecca in 1993. And just like clockwork, the calm goes away and it starts
again.
It starts up again. So Bill's in the kitchen and he's preparing a soup and he's peeling carrots. Out of the corner of his eye, he sees this, as he described, I'm going to use the word hottie. That's not what he called her. This beautiful, alluring...
A dot? Isn't that what they say now?
Yeah.
T-H-O-T?
So he sees this very alluring woman.
What kids say.
And he feels this extreme temptation to follow her. He doesn't.
A siren.
Immediately following that, he sees this 7-foot-tall, dark figure with this bird-like head, which looks like the Egyptian god
Isis.
Horus.
Oh, Horus.
Horse. So anyway, he's standing in the kitchen and he sees this thing and now he's really freaked out. So they call more people and they get other people to come out. Finally, there's this Dr. Johnson that comes out. And I know you were going to go there.
Wait.
I know. We got Anita Dick and Doc Johnson.
Doc Johnson.
Yep.
And Holwood.
And Holwood. Yeah.
And Holwood.
Yeah. It sounds like a porno movie. It really does, but it's not. So he gets involved with the case, and once again, they try to get the exorcism or exorcise this thing out of the house. It quietens down, then it comes back, and it's just a vicious cycle that just keeps going on with this. Finally, they have Eddie Burks come out, and he's
Burps,
Burks, B-U-R-K-S.
Oh, Burks.
Okay, and he gets involved. Pretty famous in his day as being a paranormal investigator and psychic. He comes out there, and it gets to the point to where that Burke is like, or Bill, I'm sorry, he finds his mind is just racing with thoughts constantly. He can't stop. And they're dark thoughts. He's thinking about removing himself from the physical plane. And somebody had left a knife out. And he sees this and he's like,
"Don't do it, Bill."
No, he's thinking neither one of me or my wife would have let this out with 2 small children running around, where they could get a hold of it. And and this is where he realizes these things obviously are wanting him to hurt himself. Eddie Burks returns again, and Eddie decides we need to find out what we're actually dealing with. So after much searching and divining of the spirits and all that, they figure out that this is an ancient
Egyptian.
No.
Oh.
Actually, they returned with 2 paranormal investigators, and one was Maurice Gross, which was one of the investigators of the Enfield haunting there in England. Mm-hmm. And or I guess I should say Great Britain. I don't remember exactly. I think it was actually
Enfield's,
in England.
It's in London, next to the neighborhood. I think.
And so
neighborhood.
So Yeah.
Sinning.
So they claimed that this dark presence was an ancient and evil pagan entity that someone at some point in history had welcomed in, and they didn't know what they were doing. Burks comes in, they perform the exorcism, and this thing just kind of leaves. Everything goes quiet again, and everything started calming down after that. Now, they still saw spirits move through. They still saw apparitions, but it was nothing like what they had previously experienced. And nothing was trying to hurt them anymore. Nothing was aggressive. One of the spiritualists, paranormal investigator, says, "Hey, this place is like a portal." It said this is how they're getting to the other side, and traveling back and forth is through this place near your garden. Now, what I didn't tell you up front is one of the things that happened in the building of Heol Fanog was that this had been, some of the farms around there were built over graveyards, and
of course
they had taken headstones, and used those as material to build. Really? Yeah.
Oh my!
This whole place, it's Brecon Beacons, like the two tallest summits. These two impronounceable words that are the names of these two tallest summits in this park, not far from where this house is.
It's beautiful there, by the way.
It's beautiful, yeah. Both of these have Bronze Age cairn tombs at the summits.
Oh, really?
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Just like
and here we come,
like
full circle.
2,000-3,000-year-old tombs everywhere. All over the
what was it? Gray Man of Ben McDewey. That's it. Ben McDewey.
Brooklotic is the.
I know. I was kidding when I said that.
It's a big cairn.
But we were drinking Brooklotic when we were talking about Ben McDewey.
Yes.
But yeah, there's, obviously it's an ancient
land,
and people have lived there for many, 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 many years, and so. But anyway, they don't feel like they had the bubble there anymore after all of this, But I thought it was really interesting because there was so much that went on. The electric. Oh, and that was another thing. After he did the exorcism to get rid of the evil pagan ancient deity, the electric bill went to normal.
Oh,
really?
Yeah. And they weren't paying this astronomical electric bill anymore. How about that? So that's Heol Fanog, or the Hellfire Farm, or the Welsh Amityville, the Witch Farm. There's all
so
kinds
what
of
is it now?
It's the house is there. I mean, here's Google Street View of it. It's right up that road with that creepy ass tree out in the front.
No doubt.
So can you rent it out for the night and go?
I don't know. It's in the park. It's all part of that Brecon Beacons Park. I'm not sure, but I did find a website where it actually shows you. It gave you the link to the Google Street View.
Wow.
That is one creepy ass tree. Like, that tree freaks me out. That bent thing coming up over the hedgerow. And
there's this one place that's near there on their property, I believe, that there's an old wall that I don't know if it was built in Roman days or what. I mean, this thing is
the wall.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So it's like no telling when that was put there.
Those tombs, in the cairns on those mountains are very, very pre-Roman. So it's Bronze Age. You're talking 4,000 years, 3,000 years ago.
Yeah. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff here.
People have been living there since the Stone Age. Since
they've made a couple of documentaries about this.
There's a Channel 4 docudrama apparently.
There's a movie out there, docudrama, if you will. And Liz has been vocal about it, but I don't know what happened to Bill. I didn't chase down that far down the rabbit hole to find out whatever happened to him, but I haven't seen him in any recent photos or any kind of articles or anything like that. But Liz was and has been vocal about
Bill
it.
joined with his good friend Big and formed the country duo Big and Rich.
No. No.
Sorry, that was
No.
funny. I like
I
that.
did look up
with
his.
Anita Dick.
Yeah, right. I did look up some of his artwork, and I'll throw that on the YouTube video when we do it. But the dude was obviously talented. I mean, he's got some really cool stuff.
So I don't know. If you could rent it, I would rent it. I'd go look up that cousin in Cardiff.
I'd like to go to Wales anyway. That'd be cool.
It is absolutely beautiful there. Looking through some of the photos because I was trying to,
It's cold
find
as
photos
hell,
for
but
the-
it's always cold there. So, you just get used to it.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's a perfect place to go
I
in
know,
the summer.
I know. It's a
Get the
perfect
hell
place
out
for
of
you.
here and go to the UK.
I was looking up, what I could to find out about this, and there's all kinds of pictures of that area around there. It's absolutely just
Beautiful.
It's stunning. Yeah, it's like God,
Those
it's so
mountains and
wonderful.
stuff.
You can hike, and they're not like crazy tall mountains. 860 meters, whatever that is in American.
They look like you could walk them.
You
In
can. I mean, I've seen
American.
pictures of people hiking the ridge up to the summit, up to where Karen is and stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad at all.
Yeah.
But there we go. So I don't know if it's haunted or not. There's lots and lots of stories about it.
I'm going to tell you what, though. It makes you want to steer clear of some Egyptian stuff.
Well, there's
Maybe not buy a house surrounded by Bronze Age tombs.
Or made with the tombstones.
I think that if I were to say yay or nay on this, it would have to be there's so many people involved and it's pretty well documented. So at some point you go, are all these people full of shit?
Probably not, considering the land and
Yeah, that's what
And
I'm thinking.
what it's made from. And
Yeah. And evidently that's not the only place around there that was to where they used the tombstones to build the house,
that's fairly common.
is it?
Well, you're recycling. I mean, that's what it
It's
is.
before
but-
people had an appreciation for ancient stuff with the advent of, there was a certain period in Christianity.
I mean, we still
where
have teenagers that go out to the graveyard and kick over headstones. I mean, so.
they're taking stuff home with them, I hope,
Oh,
for doing
it's
that.
pretty rough. But anyway, that's Heol Fanog, and
Highly recommend Tequila Pantelones.
this was really good.
It was a good celebrity liquor.
Yeah, right. Because you don't get a guarantee with celebrity like just because
It's usually a
somebody
guarantee it's
puts
going to
their-
be trash, because that
Isn't it?
Kardashian tequila's trash, the LeBron tequila's trash, the George Strait, I heard that one's actually not bad.
I haven't
Heol.
tried that yet. I'm going to.
Heol
You've
was
had
good.
it, haven't you?
Yeah, I've had the rose.
Is it good?
I liked it.
Did
Of
you?
course, he doesn't own it anymore, but yeah. Same with Casamigos. He doesn't own it either.
Right.
His signature's still on it.
I know.
Yeah, it
but
is.
he sold it for $1 billion
Yeah.
in 2017.
$1 billion. That's why everybody's getting into the tequila business, because tequila's popular right
Chris
now.
Rock. I think it's Chris Rock has one. No, the other one.
The Rock
No.
has Terramana, and it's not good.
Kevin Hart.
Oh, Kevin Hart, yeah, I heard his.
I mix up Chris Rock and
I
Kevin
heard
Hart for
his
some
is
reason.
trash too.
It wasn't awful when the only option I had was that Cuervo or Kardashians. It was the better choice out of all
Yeah,
of those.
the Casamigos was good, though. I will give.
Oh, yeah,
as far as the celebrity
absolutely.
tequila
You really
goes, that's
like
good.
it.
Yeah, and this is really
That
good.
is really
Yeah,
good.
that's
I
really
liked
good.
it. And I like the lid. I think it's fun.
Pantelones Blanco.
It's got the little kind of like a canteen little leather holder.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of different. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like it.
Are y'all cork savers? Like, I save all the corks.
Oh no, dude, we go through so much liquor.
No, a lot of ours don't
got
have corks.
A giant box of corks, but it comes in handy. Like that La Gratona has that fold over metal, like a Grolsch beer thing, and it's not a perfect seal. So when I reuse that bottle,
Just
I
put a
got
cork in it.
a Buffalo Trace cork fits perfectly in there and fully seals it. You just tip it over, wet the cork a little bit, and that nice
Gotcha.
seal.
All right. Well,
Always save your corks.
we did the Witch Farm.
The Witch Farm.
Vivitch, and we drank Pantelones.
Tequila Pantelones.
It was
We
good.
drank Matthew McConaughey's pants.
Yeah, organic white pants.
His organic white pants.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Nighty night.